think I almost missed that last D7 chord. But anyway, I think it's in there. So hey guys, this is Howard with Acoustic Blues. This is number 10 in the series. I'm in a drop D tuning once again. All right, so you'll want to get into that. And the whole idea behind this series is that you can take this stuff that's in the various keys, A, G, E, D, whatever, and crazy glue it together any way you want to. Mix and match, building yourself an arsenal of cool acoustic blues or even electric blues stuff, right? So they all share certain licks, but each one offers new ideas as well, so you can start to really build your blues vocabulary, so to speak. So let's get into it. The first thing we hear is this. Right? So that's a D7 chord, okay, playing off of the major third. And again, you can see the tab on the screen, but I'll play it nice and slow. So after we've arpeggiated the chord, we do a pull off with the second finger off of the major third of the D7, right? Moving to the third fret on the A string. And that leads us to the G7 chord. Now, in standard tuning, you would simply play a G7 like that. But we can't do that with this particular tuning. We've got to move that bass note up to the 5th fret. So the way I play this is I bar across the first 4 strings at the 3rd fret, and of course place the second finger on the 4th fret on the G string, and then play the root note, the bass note, at the 5th fret on the 6th string with my 3rd finger. So we're skipping the A string altogether. Okay? Now the whole idea behind this, you've seen it in G in a previous lesson, played differently, right? But what you want to do is try to hold the chord down while you play the phrase or the lick within the chord. All right, so nice and slow. So with those 2 chords now we have. Back to the D7 once again, and we play this. So we have a similar arpeggiation on that D7 chord, but striking that first E, B, and G string twice in a row. Then we're playing a string of double stops right off of that D7 chord. If you guys have checked out a lot of my blues lessons, then you're going to be familiar with these. If not, you can check out a lot of my blues lessons, different lessons. It's all in the description box below. So off of that D7 chord, then we come back to the G7, the 4 chord once again, and we play a similar lick, except we're dividing it across 2 different strings. While we are holding the chord down once again. And then maintaining the chord, we play the previous G7 pattern. So backing up to that previous D7, just for the sake of continuity, we have this. Right? And then we come back to the D7 again. And we do another string of double stops. But those are introduced with 3 open strings, 6, 5, and 4. There you go, there's the correct pattern, all right? So once again, coming off of that second G7, play that for you real slow. And then we move to the 5 chord, which is an A7, and we are playing this. Okay, so you can see how I've got my fingers laid out. 5th fret on the D string, 6th fret on the G string, and with your pinky, the 8th fret on the B string. You can see the tab on the screen, but I'll play it slowly. And then lower it to the 7th fret using your ring finger. That makes a 13th. And then open E string, skip the B string, go straight to the G and the D. So that movement right there is. Now we're going to do the same thing on the G7. So once again, we have to fret it like so. We have to form the chord like we have been doing so far. And you can see I'm moving that B string once again, primarily with the pinky and then to the index. So we have we have this turnaround. All right, so we have the open 6th string, and then fret the 3rd fret on the B string for the D octave, and that note does not move. So we're adding a little bit more color than what we've done with this one previously. So lay your 2nd finger down on the 3rd fret on the A string, pick the A string, followed by the G string, and then the D string. So we have, and then slowly move this note chromatically down, maintaining that note as you go, with the same picking pattern, by the way. So we have, we form an A7 chord. You can play it like that if you want to, and we play this. You can see that on the tab, but slowly. All right, so what I'm going to do is play this whole first go around really slow with the tab up on the screen. Now when you come off of that A7 to go into the next go around, I peg this note right here, 3rd fret on the 6th string, give it a little bluesy bend to introduce you into the next section. Okay, so once you're in the next section, we're on that open 6th string again, and we are using a D7 sharp 9, the infamous Hendrix chord. So we've got 2 strokes on the 6th string, 2 strokes on the full chord, and then we have those single notes. Open A string, 3rd fret, 5th fret, and then 3rd fret on the D string. Once again, leading into this next lick with the 3 open strings. Let them ring out as much as you can, and then play the phrase. So put that all together. Come back and play the D7 section again. So instead of the lick, we do the walk up. Okay, so we're skipping the A string, of course, open strings at first. And I think down, up, down is best for this because it's a 1, 2, 3 pattern, a triplet pattern. Down, up, down, bar at the 2nd fret, or you can do it like that either way. 3rd fret, 4th fret, and that's your walk up, okay? So this is kind of a new pattern off of the G. Again, I'm using my ring finger to fret that 5th fret. And then you can see I'm skipping the A string and playing an open D and an open G. Try to hang on to that as much as you can, although it's not detrimental, right? You know, it's still going to sound pretty good. And you can see I'm hammering from the 3rd fret to the 4th fret on the G string. And then open G string. 3rd fret on the D string, open G string again, 3rd fret on the D string, then open D string. You can see it on the tab, but really slowly. And then you can jump off for the hammer from 1 to 2 on the A string, and then open G string. So we have that pattern twice, okay? And then we come back once again to the D7 chord, but we play an extension this time. The one I think I almost missed. Anyway, just as we played before, and then we form this D7 right here, okay? So that's 7th fret on the D string with my 2nd finger. Reach over with your 1st finger to the 5th fret on the G, 7th fret on the B string, and then 8th fret with your pinky on the 1st E string. If that's too hard to play, you can just play this one twice. Either way, it sounds good. Okay, once again, slowly. And then the 5-4-1 is the same as we played before. A7, G7, but this time we play a different turnaround to close it out. I'll do that slowly for you. E flat 9 to D7, 9. So there you have it, number 10 in the series of acoustic blues guitar. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And once again, if you do enjoy this type of thing, check out the stuff in the description box below. There's a lot of cool acoustic blues lessons over there, electric stuff, my blues rock guitar course, all that stuff, right? If you're interested, you might find some stuff that you really enjoy. So all the best to everyone. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hey everybody, Howard here with Acoustic Blues Guitar in the series. I think this is number 10 or 11. I'll be sure to put that at the beginning of the video. Anyway, we're in the key of B this time and we're doing a 12-bar blues. This can be played on electric, of course, but I wanted to add a bit more to the Acoustic Blues series because everybody kept asking for it. So you just saw the performance, so let's break this down bit by bit, okay? First, we have that opening phrase. Okay, so you can see the tab on the screen, but let me play that for you nice and slowly. Walking right into that F sharp 7 sharp 9 chord. And then we are into the 12-bar go-around. So again, we're in the key of B, and this is placed over a B7 chord, okay? And again, all of these are designed to go together. You can connect them in different ways. You can move them to different keys. So there's certain similarities between these lessons and then new stuff as well, okay? So you've probably seen this before. If you've checked out a couple of the other lessons, it's slightly different, of course, but slightly the same as well. So the whole idea, of course, as I've mentioned in previous lessons, is to hold that full 7th chord down so that all the notes ring out, as many as possible, and then you play the phrase within that fingering. One more time slowly. All right. And then we move to a quick 4 chord, which is over E or over E7, and we have this. And you've probably seen this before as well, but again, slightly different, slightly the same, okay? You can see the tab up on the screen, but what I'm doing is muting out that D string, right? Just by laying your ring finger kind of lazily across the A string. And sliding that half step, which sounds really nice. Okay, so what we have so far is... we go to a B7 chord and we're playing a cross-picking pattern. So it's 3 downs, up, 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 then 3 down again, swing to the first E string, up, up, up. And then once again, off of the chord or within the chord, we play these double stops. So that's a little something new that you can always remember off of a B7 chord, okay? So from the very beginning, this is what we have. Back to the 4 chord, the E or E7 if you like, and we're playing the same thing we did before with just a couple of subtle variations, okay? All right, so let's play that nice and slow. Play that lick one more time. Put that all together. All right, and then we're going to head back to the B7 again, okay? And again, just a subtle variation on that. And we just let that ring at the end. And again, some double stops based right off of a B7 chord up here. I slide into that. Use a little hybrid picking there with your pick and your ring finger, or your second finger, excuse me, or you can just mute out that B string and pick it if you like. All right, and then we move to the 5 chord, which is based on an F sharp dominant 7th, And we're doing the same thing we did with the B7, the exact same lick, but at the 2nd fret. And that's over the E7 chord, okay? So let me put those 2 chords together for you nice and slowly. Try to let that open E string ring when you play that lick. That'll sound pretty cool. And then we play a descending turnaround in B, and it is played like so. Really slowly. If you want to turn it around, you can play the G7 to the F sharp 7, or if you want to end it, you can play the C9 to the B9. So let's run the whole thing down from the very beginning, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there you go with the latest installment of Acoustic Blues Guitar. As always, I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hey guys, Howard here with Acoustic and Electric Blues. You can play this stuff on electric or acoustic. It's equally as cool on either platform. So what I decided to do with this one is do the performance on electric, okay, with a nice clean sound, and then I'll do the actual tutorial walking you through each phase of it on the acoustic, okay? So here we go. I'll play it first, and then we'll dive into it. Okay, so let's jump right into that opening phrase. And as a reminder, opening phrases can be used as turnarounds as well. So you guys can crazy glue this stuff together any way you like. In fact, I like to present a few ideas from previous lessons, expand on those, and then show you some new stuff as well. That way you can build your own 12-bar blues. That's what it's all about. Okay, so first things first, we're in a drop D tuning, so we want to lower that 6th string down a whole step to D. And we are ready to go. Here's the opening phrase. All right, so you got the tab on the screen, but let me play that nice and slow for you. then we are into it, right? Now we're playing a standard sort of blues boogie thing here, but because we are in a drop D tuning, it is played like this. Right? So I'm attacking all three strings there, the 6th, the 5th, and the 4th, okay? And I'll play that nice and slow, and you can see it on the tab. So the only string that's moving is the A string. Right? Nice and slow again. And then we do the first lick. You can see the tab on the screen, but once again, let me play that nice and slow. We want to hit that 6th string again and just let it ring out. And then we're going to walk into the 4 chord, which is essentially a G7, and play that boogie pattern again, by the way. Play that twice, okay? And you can walk into that with one finger if that's easier for you. I like to do it like that and then jump over, but either way is totally fine. The main thing is that you want to connect it right away or close to right away with the lick. And then for the next lick, which is a string of double stops, we hit that open, what is now a D string, the sixth string, and then let it ring out just as before and play the double stop pattern. And then we continue by playing that whole thing an octave higher. So we hit the open D string now. And you can see that the fingerings are exactly the same, just across different strings, okay? I've covered a lot about double stops in previous lessons. But let me play that one nice and slow for you as well. Little hybrid picking there at the end. And you'll find this in the previous acoustic blues lesson in the key of G, but of course that was in standard tuning, and with the drop D tuning, the fingering changes slightly, which makes it kind of cool and interesting to play. And then we'll do a variation on this in the second go around here. But this is what it is. We're moving from an A7 to a G7, and how I'm forming these chords is I'm using my ring finger to play the 7th fret on the top string, or the top string closest to your head, of course, the 6th string, and then I'm barring across the first 4 strings, the E, the B, the G, and the D, right? And then forming my 7th chord by placing my 2nd finger on the 4th fret on the G string, and that's where the hammer-on is going to be. So we skip a string for this. We skip the A string. And we just simply move it down to a G7. So here it is, nice and slow. That's a really cool little phrase to play. The idea is to get all the notes ringing together as much as you possibly can, right? As opposed to it being a separated lick. And then we play the first turnaround, of course, which is one of my favorites, very ZZ Top, if you will. And we finish it off with that slippery A7 chord, right? So here it is slow. And then we take that A7 shape, which is exactly like the shape of a D chord. If you dragged that all the way up to the 5th fret and then up one set of strings using the D, the G, and the B, you'll have that shape right there. So what I did is I slid it a half step and then back, bringing the open A string into it. So we have now we're into the next go around. And for this, we're employing more chord work, right? A lot more chords. We're going to use a D7 sharp 9, and then we're going to use a G7, which once again is played with that fingering I went over earlier. And so this is what we play. Follow all of that. Okay, so let's go over that. Once again, we've got the D7 sharp 9, which you can see on the tab, 2 open strikes on the 6th string, and then 2 strikes on the chord. And then we have the phrase. And then we form that G7 chord, which I know is a little bit wicked, but well worth the price of admission. So I'm bouncing off of the 6th string, skipping the A string, and then bringing the rest of the strings into the picture. You can just use the D, the G, and the B if you want, but it sounds kind of nice, kind of Beatlesque if you get that in there as well. So once we hit the G7, we play another phrase. So far we have. And then we come back and play that D7 sharp 9 again, but we've got a different tail end on it. So here that is nice and slow as well. Little bit of a quarter bend there, I would say. One more time, slowly. And then we're going to walk into that G7 chord again, all right? Like that. Just like that, okay? And then that's where the next lick comes in. But let me put all of that together for you, okay? So let's go over all of that. So after you've played the chords, we hit that open string again, the 6th string, let it ring. And you can see the lick on the tab, but I'll play it nice and slow. One more time real slowly. Now we walk into the 5 chord, which is the A7. And we do that by playing the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th fret on the E string, or D string if you like. And we are once again arpeggiating those chords, the A7 to the G7, right? But this arpeggiation is slightly different, and that's what's cool about this. You can actually mix these up together if you want to. But these are played like so. So maybe a little bit more involved depending on how you look at it, right? But here it is, nice and slow. And once again, the idea is to get all these strings ringing together as much as possible. And then down a whole step to G, of course. And then we play the closing phrase. With that D9 chord, and once again just keep that 6th string ringing through the whole thing. But here it is nice and slow, and on this I think down down up is best for these arpeggios. Little hybrid picking at the end there. So there you go with acoustic and electric blues, okay? You can play this on electric and it sounds great. Just use a nice clean tone, or you can play it on acoustic or both, you know, whatever you like. So I'll run it once again with all the tab on the screen in real time, so you can kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together, okay? Thanks for watching, and I'll see all you guys in the next video.